Give applause. Yeah. Before we have give time to share the knowledge, and also in this class. This class is from innovation organization in undergraduate, and also in some of the students in master degree as well, graduate. Yeah, I want to read the profile. Professor Shen is QC Distinguished Chair Professor at the School of Public Affairs, Zhejiang University, Hangzhou, China since 2024, and is the holder of the prestigious Zhangjiang Chair Scholar from China and Jean Monnet Chair in Europe-China Relations from the European Commission. He is the Vice Chair of the Brussels-based Europe-Asia Center and also Editor-in-Chief of Asia-Europe Journal. There are so many magister. Yeah. He received PhD in Human Geography from Loughborough University, UK. LLM from Stockholm University, European Master in Law and Economic, and also the second Master, MA in Urban Management from Erasmus University, Rotterdam. Right now, we have a chit chat, we have a talk to how VAUI and also Zhejiang University School of Faculty of Affairs can make a potential collaboration. Okay, give him applause. And this is the title. Let's have a relax, yeah, kind of relax. And then I also want to listening. I want to watch about regarding the global trends and also perspective on tourism impact and responses during and after COVID-19. So, Prof. Shen, the time and is yours.
Do I have a remote for remote?
Yeah,
for the PowerPoint
system.
Oh, so they want
yes. The same X.
Okay. So, thank you very much, and not good morning. I was going to say good afternoon to everyone, and it's truly an honor to be back at Universitas Indonesia. And I came here a few times in my previous life as the Associate Vice President for Deakin University in Melbourne, Australia, where we have a very proud alumni.
Recording in progress.
And I want to congratulate you for winning Alumni of the Year last year. So well done. He's a truly ambassador for not only Deakin University, but also for the Australian higher education. Myself, I'm, what can I say, I'm an ambassador probably for European education, because I did all my education as part of ECOSET in Europe, and I had the pleasure or the privilege in a way to work in different parts of Europe as well, including as a professor at Lancaster University, and most recently in Australia. And tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, we actually have an important event to attend jointly with Park Echo. Is the launch of the second international university branch campus in Indonesia, in Bandung, West Java. It's a joint venture between Deakin University in Australia and Lancaster University in the UK. So you can see it's the marriage between my previous employers. So I was very happy to be the person, the matchmaker to make that happen. And we had a nice lunch, and I said, the highlight of my career is in Indonesia. Why? Because I had the pleasure to meet with the former president, Jokowi, in Bogor Palace a while ago. And certainly I feel, as a Chinese, because that's where I'm originally from, we know so few about our neighbors, And I think I know a lot about Europe and about Australia than Indonesia, which geographically is closer to China. So that's why I'm here also, to hopefully to build up more academic links and a partnership between our two universities, and to have young people from Indonesia to visit China, but also for many of my countrymen, countrywomen, to have the opportunity to visit Indonesia as well. Because I really see Indonesia as They have the incredible India. So what is the international Indonesia, so to say, because it's very diverse, it's very inspiring and upcoming. So I hope you will also have the opportunity to visit Hangzhou, to visit my university, Zhejiang University. Have you ever heard about my university before? No? But have you heard about DeepSeek?
Yeah.
So DeepSeek, the founder, is a graduate of our computer science. So please, it's a very prestigious university and one of the top 3 in China, and it's a very large university. And I'm from the School of Public Affairs, which is like the counterpart for the administrative science here, and we have all the subjects that you could study, including Master of Public Policy and some other initiatives. So I do hope you can come. But also, Hangzhou is famous for Chinese culture because it used to be the capital of Song Dynasty, which is a very important dynasty for China, for civilization of Chinese culture, and also for one of the very important businessmen in China. He was silent for a few years. Someone said he even moved to Japan or Australia. Do you know who I'm talking about? He has a company called Alibaba.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jack Ma. So Jack Ma founded his business in Hangzhou. He studied in Hangzhou as well, not in my university, but another university. And so he founded the whole Alibaba group with Taobao. Have you heard about this company? Which is like eBay of China, right? So Taobao, and he has the Alipay. Yeah, you can't live without Alipay or WeChat Pay in China now. I use Alipay during my last trip to Europe. It's very easy to pay for shopping, etc. So it's a city of digital business, digital industry, and I really hope you will have the opportunity to visit. So enough about branding and introduction. I want to move to the topic. Actually, it's really a hard topic to talk to come here because I have a lot of pressure from Park Echo because he is, renowned professor, internationally recognized expert, and he wants me to talk about innovation just because I'm from Hangzhou. My topic is international relations and international geopolitics, which is becoming more and more in technology area, as you know. But I want to share with you some other work I'm doing is on global cities. I'm also very interested in global city network. My PhD was in human geography, and one of the things I did with a colleague of mine is to look at global travel industry between COVID and after COVID. What are the trends? What are the innovation to fit in the class focus in the travel industry? What are the changing consumer behavior? What governments and cities are trying to make it more competitive for travelers? So if we can move to the next slide. I'm really sorry for the technical colleague because I have a lot of slides. So we will talk about the impact of COVID, we'll talk about new idea, and we'll talk about the city branding. The next, please. So this is the video, a lot of people probably are familiar with. I don't know the situation during the hard times of COVID. I remember coming to Indonesia, you have the Peduli Linguini or Peduli, the app? Peduli Linguini, right? But that's already when the travel was resumed. But you can see that was the change in what the international global pandemic brought to the travel industry. I don't know whether Indonesia had similar pictures, but I was in the state of Victoria in Australia. We had the biggest lockdown in the world. Months of lockdown. I can only go within 5 kilometers outside my home. Everything was closed. I can only go for the essential shopping. However, you can see, this was impacting different parts of the world, particularly, I guess, for the travel industry, where you have crowded tourists one day and the next day it's all empty, whether it's Bondi Beach or whether it's the Marina Bay in Singapore. Next slide. Yeah. But this is not the first time in a way that the global travel industry have seen crisis across the last 2 decades or so. You can see there was the crisis during or after September 11th. You have the SARS crisis in 2003. You have the financial crisis, and then you have the latest, which is the COVID crisis. So you can see the impact on global tourism have been important. But I think especially the COVID-19 was really critical. Then the next slide, please. Then what are the responses? What can governments and officials and the industry respond to? If we look at the case of Norway, for instance, they have decided to have a very comprehensive approach to travel industry. So they suspend all of the international tourism campaign, but to make it more of the theme of anticipation. So they say it's time to pause, but it's also for you to prepare and travel afterwards. So they use slogans like, we are not travelers all the time, but we are dreamers all the time. So playing on the anticipation. And also, I'm sure for Indonesia the same, the focus to turn from international tourism to domestic tourism, domestic market. So what they say to international tourists is, the green mountains and amazing scenery will still stay here, but we want you to build the hope and the dreams in your mind, but come to visit us later. So dream now and visit soon, and visit now. And then the next, please. The same is for Germany. If move to the next slide, please. Yeah, we can see that for Germany it's a similar picture. We have more digital presentation of the travel industry in Germany, and there are a lot of initiatives like the museums of Berlin online, digital products of Berlin cinema, because Berlin is the home of the Berlin now, the Berlin Film Festival, and then play also on the key areas of excellence like music and cinema. Next slide. For Portugal, for instance, they try to play the safety card, so you have a lot focused on the new 4 Ps of the marketing, not the traditional 4 Ps, but they call it pause, because you can't travel, but pull, so you pull people back, and then you pivot in key markets, and finally you push for this your marketing campaigns. So it's the new 4 Ps of the Portuguese market travel industry. Then next slide, they also play on the environmental part as well on the global travel industry. So it's in Chinese, but what you read for the industry, they want to say it's time to pause. People need to rest. Same are the landscapes, same are the tourist attractions. So you need to have time to pause, time to relax, time to revitalize for these tourist sites as well. Next slide, you can see all of the important landmarks. What they say is, let's have a time of breeze, let's breathe in, but visit later. So you can see all the campaigns. It's not about crowded people, but more about isolation, more about tranquility. Next slide. We see the case of Vienna, for instance. Vienna has also they have a new initiative called Vienna from my window. So they want to bring residents, because they feel residents are the good ambassadors for the cities, for the image of Austria and the image of Vienna. So what you can see here is they have a lot of initiatives like Vienna from my window. So what you see from your home, So it's also for you to discover tourism opportunities closer to your family, closer to your residents. Next slide. It's also linked to business opportunities, online business opportunities. You can't travel, you can't buy souvenirs when you travel, but you can buy them online. So they're promoting this Austrian lifestyle, Austrian products. Then the next slide. Another initiative, what they have done is called, Give You a Smile or Can I Find You initiative. So what it means that, Again, using the city residents as the way of promoting your tourism. They have cameras around the city, so people from Austria but also abroad can can find your friends, can find your relatives. Next slide. Virtual museum. We will see a lot of this virtual museum initiative. I think that's really changed the tourism industry, how they can creatively using digital technology, digital archives in attracting visitors. So online museum have become a very important trend. And when I go to new museum, even there's a lot more hybrid museum visiting. I was recently in Estonia, and one of the things in Estonia is your ticket is also a digital tour, because if you like an exhibition, you can just tap it on the exhibition display board and the information will be sent to your email address. So whatever you like, you don't have the time to read the information, you just tap and it gets sent to your email box. So I think all of these initiatives are really creative and really important for the next interaction. So next slide, you can see they also use the film industry, so rediscover the cities from the films. There are so many popular films about lives in the cities, how you can rediscover cities. And then the next you can see it's museum, and the music, sorry. Music is really important for Austrian culture, especially classical music. So what they want to do is to use musicians to brand this international capital of music. And if you go next slide, you can see what they do is they ask artists to perform from their homes. So you don't see the artist performing just in concert halls or in music venues. You ask them to perform at home, on their balcony, in their living room, etc. So create this personalization experiences and also personal connections to Vienna. Next, food. Obviously, restaurant industry was heavily impacted. I was missing my soto ayam as well because I can't come. So I'm sure if you are going to Austria, you probably remember Austria is famous for food. For instance, over there you have the Sachertorte, which is a chocolate cake, very heavy chocolate cake from the famous Zaha Hotel in Vienna. So they were teaching people how to make Viennese or the Austrian cuisine, cooking in Vienna. So the next slides, here you will see some slides of innovation from some other countries. And for instance, the Visit Britain, they have a strong campaign called "We Can't Wait to Welcome You." So it's all this discussion, online discussion to create, as I said, the expectation, create this anticipation online, this kind of marketing tools. And also you have the focus is, it's a lot about isolation. You are staying in your home, so it's about home learning. They use a lot of home learning, digital learning technologies for you to help to understand the British culture, to understand Britain better. And so it's, for instance, they have an episode like English sofa called Attic, so British Attic, using things from Downton Abbey and all these famous TV and cultural products. Next, my colleague and I listed some of the initiatives or some of the live performance, what happened during the COVID time, again to maintain the West End culture of the UK, of London to the international audience. Next slide, cooking, similar to Vienna. You have all the different cooking classes, cooking experiences. And what is interesting thing is, let's do the move next slide, is about wellness, well-being. And particularly we have, if we can move to the next slide, please. We can see there's a lot more about meditation, to talk about yoga, to talk about feel good online, and all this DIY, do it yourself sports initiatives you can have in collaboration with the different sporting organizations and also sports celebrities. Next slide. The museums and galleries in London are obviously very famous, and we estimate more than 100 museums in London were offering daily online tours during the pandemic. So again, used digital technologies to have this virtual experience. And of course, all of the messages to say that you cannot replace the experience of face-to-face, of your personal experience, but to build expectation and to build the travel desire, the demand. That's what this is about. And next, virtual tours of London. I'm sure these are not new nowadays. There are a lot of things like this happening around these major cities. Then the next slide, they also have a focus on family time. How do you engage with the younger ones, at home? So provides a lot of opportunities for the younger members of the family to keep the children's skills, artistic, sporting skills, and in practice, and also working with the different cultural venues, cultural providers. Now let's cross the channel and move to the next slide, Paris. So Paris, the city of love. I was really, we had a very great honor to have meeting one of your professors who is very francophone, who knows Paris and who knows France very well. So France was doing a lot to promote the different parts of its cultural assets. We can move to the next slide, for instance. So all of the attractions in Paris, all of the famous attractions from the Louvre Museum to the Sacré-Cœur in Montmartre, or to Monet's Garden, the Grand Palais, they all offer online experiences to its international and domestic audiences. Here you just can see some of the initiatives, and I will not just going through the detail. The next one, just some more experiences like the experience of the Musée d'Orsay, the Foundation Louis Vuitton, and the different museums and the palaces, how they are engaging with the digital technology. So you can see it was very comprehensive. The next slide is Amsterdam. So Amsterdam plays a very interesting approach. So what they do is the Amsterdam, they really want to ask, to bring Amsterdam to your home and really play the personal part. And so if we move to the next slide, you can see, again, you can see empty galleries, but they are not really empty. They are bringing it to your home, so you can have a very strong personal virtual experiences. And let's move to the next slide. You can see the similar initiatives from Van Gogh Museum and from National Gallery of Netherlands. It's really pushed all these galleries and this museum to digital archive their exhibition. For instance, the National Gallery, they did more than 700 pieces of artworks to make them available online. So that really pushed for the Rijksmuseum, which is a National Gallery of Netherlands, to be digitally advanced. Next, we can see Anne Frank House. Similarly, VR tour, which didn't exist, but was introduced after the pandemic. And the next slide, what we can see, they used, again, the personal experience. Again, they ask Amsterdam residents to tell about their story, to tell about their neighborhood. So you can see ordinary Dutch residents talking about their areas, talking about their favorite food, talk about their favorite weekend retreat, or talk about their preferred beach, etc. So again, creating this community. So not only the official channels, but using personal experience, personal channels as well. So next we can see Amsterdam in movies. I will not go into detail. That's similar to what we talked earlier. Then we can move a bit further to see the next slide. We can see leisure time again for children to be involved. Next. What is also interesting is, I'm sure probably that's very true for many parts of the world, is you compete, you always compete. Jakarta competing with Yogyakarta, Shanghai competing with Beijing for tourists. But what the Dutch government, what they do is, they also look at regional cooperation, to ask the residents, or to ask the cities and the regions to work collaboratively. So what they want to do is they create clusters of itineraries. So rather than you just go to Amsterdam, you don't go to another part, they say, how about we create itinerary bringing you together and to create this clustering experiences. For travelers, it will be easier, but for the local business, local economy, you can also retain travelers for longer time. So instead of just half day to Den Haag, for instance, maybe make it half day Den Haag, half day in Rotterdam, so you can keep them to stay overnight in your region. So we can move to the next slides to see some of the initiative. So they, as I said, they build this clustering, then move again, the next slide. So putting them into the different categories, putting them into thematic focuses. Next slide. Again, you can see put them into the different clusters. So their slogan is not anymore welcome to Amsterdam, but welcome to the greater Amsterdam. So put them into a whole package. So let's move to the next slide. So this is also an interesting concept. In the past, we always say you are tourist. You are not one of us. You are just a visitor. You are just temporary. You are just even, sometimes a troublemakers. For Venice, in the past, tourists have a good reputation for Venice. But now, what we see that, we make them as part of the temporary residents. They are not just only guests. They are also part of the social vibrance. So let's move to the next slide. Here we can show some videos. So maybe, I don't know if you can click the videos and that will show. Yeah. It's in Chinese.
50多年来，只有汽车在这里行驶，将它留下，变成公园。
每到周末夜晚，鬼怪们都会聚集在如意岛。吃货鬼怪、爱美鬼怪、时刻充满兴致的鬼怪。今夜不愿让夜晚太枯燥的我，也要变成鬼怪。如我在首尔，你也行 ，I show you。
So what?
就是天。
Yeah, we can see this one as well.
悟空之路，首尔人走在这条路上，和家人、和朋友，有时也独自一人行走在空中。如果在首尔，你也行
So you
，I
can,
show you。
so you can see the marketing. What do you see? What they try to bring? What kind of message? I saw you. What do they want to achieve? Anyone? I heard your business, Master of Public Administration, from the best university in Indonesia, so you must be very good, huh? I know you can't understand all the Chinese what they're saying, but there's some writing in English and in body language and scenery. What do you think they want to tell you from these videos? And at the end they say, I saw you. What do they want to say? Come on, is there a microphone? We can use a microphone for students. I like ask the students to teach, because then I can rest. Anyone wants to share your view?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so from the video, I think that Seoul wants to make a branding that tourist is part of Seoul. That's why the tagline is I Seoul You, because Seoul is part of you and I.
Wow, very good. Do you study marketing?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Anyone else would like to share?
Okay, I like it.
What means to you these videos?
Thank you. I think this video want to give us message that let's get back
Let's get back to normal life.
Normal life, yes.
Yeah.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
I think from the video is that the phrase "I saw you" is from a word like "I love you." Is love is impacting the us word. So this "I saw you" is so impacting us.
Okay, so impact. Very good. Any other voices?
I like it. Yeah.
We have one and then here. You are very good students.
Very active.
In my opinion, maybe they would like to reach the personal attachment of the upcoming tourists. So the Korean people would like to tell the upcoming tourists that once you visit Korea, then soul means like soul, say similar like love. So they would like to tell the tourists that you are part of us, something like
You're
that.
part of the soul.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes, yes, the gentleman on the back, please.
Okay, thank you for the chance. From my opinion, I saw you mean the tourism will having Seoul lifestyle that we will have some fun in Seoul. We will have some friends in Seoul. So we're not just tourists. We're not from other country. We are part of Seoul. We are same like the other Seoul people in there. So we are the locals, not treated like people from other country. That's why we have the same soul, S-O-U-L, like soul people.
Right, yeah, very good. Any other final sharing or no? Oh, we have one. We have a specially appointed panel officer. Who did you appoint to share? Okay, that student is a bit shy, maybe.
Shy.
Okay, yeah, I think all of you are right. I think, it's up to different interpretation, but what they try to do is obviously to say that to bring this personal attachment to you. They want the Seoul residents to talk about their experience. So the lady there, she was talking about the highways, the old highways. Now it's pedestrian bridges for the city. And so it's probably, if you don't know it so well, you don't know about that as attraction. You probably don't think it's a tourist attraction, but it's a lot of people in Seoul, they go to do it. And then the other, the gentleman was talking about the nightlife, the food, the night food market, what they eat, what he parties with his friends. So again, you can see what they want to do is you can be part of Seoul. You are not just guest, okay? You are not just going to Gangnam Style, right? You are also doing what the local do. Live like a local, you create part of the city life. So it's about inner connection, it's about identity, it's about being part of the city. So part of the city's soul. So that's the new message they want to do. So what about if you want to do a video for Jakarta, what would you do? What kind of places, what kind of activities would you put into the video? If you are the creative director for Visit Jakarta, I don't know whether there's the Jakarta Tourism Board, I don't know whether there's a body for that. Yes, sir?
I think I would like to emphasize more like business, because the nature of Jakarta that has the metropolitan area and business center. So I would like to emphasize is like New York perhaps. Yeah, I think that's my answer.
Okay, so only business.
Yeah,
Jakarta only business.
We couldn't offer a lot, I guess.
Wow, that's a lot to say. For the capital of Indonesia.
Soto Jakarta.
I mean the food. No. Maybe the food or the some of the tourist area, but what I like to emphasize is the business center, business meeting, and how the and some kind of extravagant lifestyle. Perhaps,
okay.
Yeah.
Crazy rich Asian.
Yes, exactly.
What's the Jakarta?
Because most of the tourist area is located outside the Jakarta, the outer ring, like Taman Mini or the.
So do you have a place like an image you have in mind if you want to say, I Jakarta you or whatever?
Now the typical Jakarta overview, imagery like the BRI Tower, coming across and show our city lights in the night. Yeah, and
you see a tower.
And so on and so forth.
Okay. So make your fortune in Jakarta.
Yeah, exactly. Make your fortune in Jakarta. Don't miss it there.
Okay. Spend your money in Bali.
Exactly. Visit in Jakarta, go to Yogyakarta or something.
Anyone else would like to share? Yes, the lady, please. Let's pass the microphone to the lady, please.
I think, thank you for the chance. I think I need to emphasize the tagline of the city itself. Jakarta is a collaboration city. So I think we need to emphasize the diversity inside it, because in Jakarta there's a lot of diversity. One of the places that I usually visit is Blok M. Blok M is famous about. It's one of the.
Blok M.
Blok M.
Blok M.
Yeah, it's a tourist attractions. I think there's a lot of diversity in there. Like there's working people, there's like kids playing around, because there's a lot of foods, a lot of culture inside it. And Jakarta has a beach too, right? There's a beach, mall, a lot of places to visit. It's just like a little Indonesia, I guess. So I think we need to emphasize the diversity and the culture itself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good, because that's similar to Malaysia, the Malaysia, truly Asia. So what? Okay. So US Malaysia, the slogan is Malaysia, truly Asia. So US is Jakarta, truly Indonesia. Okay, similar. Good. Thank you very much. So Block M, how many of you have been to Block M?
What? Pardon me?
I mean, you said Block M, the place.
Yeah, Block M.
So I just want to check how many people have been there.
Probably half of the population of Jakarta.
So all the Indonesia have been there. Have you been there?
Yes.
Okay. Just to check.
It's just like most visit places in Jakarta.
Okay. Is there an art gallery there?
Yeah, there's a lot of
the
foods.
area?
There's like blood shop.
Okay.
We
can talk later. All right, thank you very much. Yeah. So that's a very local place, yeah? Right, thank you. Anyone else? What about our international students? You are in the front row and you are very well dressed. Congratulations, very handsome. So, what do you think of Jakarta? You live here, right? So, if you are asked as an international visitor to Jakarta to tell where you're from? Tanzania, okay, very nice. So, how would you tell someone in Arusha about Jakarta? Someone from Tanzania, Jakarta, yeah. How would you say, like, what you need to experience as a local in Jakarta? Yeah, you can sit down or stand, up to you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. According to myself, I will respond this. For Jakarta, I can try maybe to make a short video clip especially in the central Jakarta, particularly in Grand Indonesia. Yeah, but as you see, for here in Indonesia, most of tourist attractions outside of the Jakarta. But I can take the example from the Mandi, and it's mostly central Jakarta. That you can say are the Jakarta.
Okay, so why Grand Indonesia? You say Grand Indonesia, right? The mall.
Yeah, for myself, I would say that because it is a beautiful one. Yeah, so beautiful. It's like the infrastructure that you see unique in the location.
Yeah. So I know the mall life in Indonesia is very important, right? You move from one mall to another mall to another mall. Right? So, okay.
Because as you see, as I said, that most of the tourist attractions are outside of the maybe Bali and other places.
All right. Okay. So we have business, we have diversity, we have culture, we have more. Very good. And but what I think also about Indonesia and Vietnam is the scooter culture. Getting on a scooter and then experience the cities. Like in Ho Chi Minh City, all you see is all the different bikes. So anyway, so let's move to the next slide. The next slide. We will just skip this and then let's move to the other. So we can skip this, yeah. So it's about consumer behavior. We don't. Let's move forward. We can see. So here you can see some other examples. Again, you can see what they want to do is with Amsterdam or Barcelona is to bring the local elements. So reinvent the cities, not just the old images. You don't go to Amsterdam just for Van Gogh's paintings. You go there to the grocery markets to see how the Dutch people are living, what they go on the day-to-day life, and also similar to Barcelona. Let's go to the next slide. You can see Barcelona, the tourism industry was also looking at find Barcelona, interact with the locals, bring in authentic cultures. Because Barcelona is not Spanish, it's Catalan, so it's quite different from the rest of Spain. How do you bring the authentic Catalan culture to Spanish for tourists? So let's move to the next. So you learn to join some dancing or some other cultural activities which are very unique to Catalan. Next, we can see that the Paris project, again, the Paris, the local initiatives, working with the different institutions. Next slide, we have to move up to time. Experience Macau, again, local experiences and the local, where the local go. The next slide, please. You see a lot of the localized maps, what you can see in the neighborhood, what are the past and the future, what they do. So next slide, you can see some of the city branding. How do they play the branding into the city? Let's move quickly to next slide. So you can see Amsterdam. You can see I am Stan, right? So you play the city's name to say I am Amsterdam. So you are part of the Amsterdam, right? The next slide, please. You see then you can see B word, BY, B Berlin. Again, playing with the city's name to be sure that you remember the city's name. Next slide. Lyon. So Lyon is a French city, but they changed the name. You see, Lyon, you switch forward, it's only Lyon. Lyon, only Lyon. So you make you to remember the city's name, okay? And Copenhagen. What's Denmark for you? Denmark is very open society, right? Very freedom, individual, so it's called Copenhagen. Open for you, Copenhagen for you. The next slide, you see, and you can see Edinburgh, it's incredible, incredible. Like what the India is, incredible India, right? So it's incredible, So maybe that's a Scottish accent, but it's another story. Next, Dublin. It's double linked, right? Because linked is very important, and Dublin is very famous for technology companies, European headquarters. So eBay, Amazon, all of their headquarters are in Dublin because of the favorable tax situation, but also it's relatively nice lifestyle for Dublin. So it's Dublin. So you blend the city's name, but also what the technology, what the industry clustering to be. Next slide. One of my favorite countries in Europe, Slovenia. It's the only country with love. Sorry, Indonesia, there's no love, right? So you have Indonesia, but they have love. You can see their slogan is, I feel love.
You're one. Indonesia, one.
One. Yes, okay. And next one is Sapporo, makes you smile. You know? So, okay, so next we have a slide. We have a PowerPoint. No, we have a video. Is there a video? The previous slide? Yeah, the dark one? I think there's a video. Yeah. It's Amsterdam. So again, it's, you know, as I said, using the kind of the very important name of the city. So making you part of the city. So all of them, the diverse culture, diverse personality, diverse professions make part of that. So next slide, please. So similarly, we can see, you know, to I love New York, you know. If you've been to New York, you probably buy a hat or t-shirt with I heart NY. You have I'm Amsterdam, but also in Ghana, they have the promotion meaning we Ghana. So it's part of making you, playing with the Korean English words, making you part of you are part of the Ghana, you know, cultures. And here you can see the symbols, the picture they show, it's different colors representing the different diverse cultural groups and personalities in Ghana. So the next slide, you can see that's the new logo and the meaning behind what it means for Ghana in South Korea. Next slide, you can see all of the marketing tools, all of the campaign, what they are doing. And finally, let's move to I Saw You. The next slide. You can see it's a combination of different English and Korean words. The O is the Korean words, you know, and if you go to the next slide, you can see the explanation, you know. So the designer wants to show that it's so you, so I, and we built the city together. It's through our passion, through our belonging to make it the city that we want to be part of. The next slide. Again, you know, they are everywhere in the public promotion, city branding, and how you interpret the city and where you work, what you do with the city. I will not go into. And last, let's look at Tokyo. So Tokyo is also transforming its image. So what they want to use is Tokyo, the old Tokyo. So on the left, the black words is old Tokyo logo. So it's quite traditional, artistic. But then you move to a very modern Tokyo, and you can see the transformation in the media is also. Tokyo is a city of old and new. You can be very old, you can be very new. You can be you can be old and new together, wearing the kimono in the modern place of Tokyo. So it's how the city is transcending generation, transcending the different parts of the life and work. The next, you can see again the old and new Tokyo sign can be found everywhere. So I will stop here, and I just want to thank you very much for your time and participation. I hope this offers you some ideas how cities, how branding, how marketing in tourism industry are evolving during COVID and after COVID. You can see it's not an easy thing, especially during COVID, but we have been very creative. And in China, we have a word, crisis. Anyone speaks Chinese? Nobody? Okay, so crisis in Chinese is called Wei Ji. So it's two words. Wei means danger, and Ji means opportunity. So whenever there's a danger, you have an opportunity. So in crisis time, when you have crisis, you have innovation. And you can see museums are innovating, hotels are innovating, airlines are innovating, even travelers are innovating as well. So it's an opportunity for open innovation. And now with the DeepSeek and all the other AI tools, I'm sure there will be a new wave of innovation. But I hope my professorship will still exist in the future. I will not be just an image in the screen, but still people-to-people interaction that's so important. So with that final word, I want to warmly invite you to visit my university and my city. So thank you very much once again.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Wei. It's fantastic sharing knowledge regarding how the COVID-19 pandemic drastically impacted global tourism and also leading to the innovative strategies to revive and adapt to industry in post-pandemic world. We see that some cities try to make a tagline, only Lyon, Amsterdam, I saw you. That's process of how the innovation process is in place, branding, in the city branding. So just right over here, that should be the innovation process typically involves ideation, development, and also implementation and evaluation. Okay, is there any question? Is there? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Also, yeah, sorry.
Thank you very much, Prof. Shen, for your presentation regarding global tourism innovation after COVID-19. I'm very sorry to say that COVID-19 made us, we lost our beloved friends and families, some of them because of the COVID-19. Yeah, basically, I want to ask you about China. Basically, I want to know what the government strategy they did to reopen tourism in China. And the second one, I want to know the real response of the community or local society regarding after COVID-19. Thank you.
Yeah. So I probably will focus on the first aspect because I'm relatively new to China myself. I'm what we call reintegration. I've been outside for more than 24 years. And what I noticed now, China after COVID is opening quite rapidly in terms of foreign tourists and foreign visitors. And one of the initiatives is the visa-free travel. So a lot of countries now could travel to China without a visa. That never happened before. And that's quite unique. And so all of my most European Union countries now travel for 14 days or 3 weeks or even a month without a visa. And also in every Chinese airport, there's a place where you can set up your digital payment immediately. So that has been an issue with foreign tourists to China because here you have Gojek Pay and all the payment. But in China, you only have two. One is Alipay, it's Alibaba, or WeChat Pay. But if you don't have a Chinese number, if you don't have a Chinese bank account, it used to be very difficult. But now if you arrive in Shanghai airport, you go somewhere, they set up for you immediately with your credit card. And so I think that's a major shift for the openness of the country, is to bring tourists, bring travelers back. And for the local communities, I must say there are still a lot of economic pressure after COVID. So during lunch we talk about the budget. You know, I think budget everywhere, it's not easy, similar to China, but I think they are still trying the best to make it, to bring back to the normal time. And certainly the travel industry is back to normal, yeah. And even better. So I do hope you can come. Any other questions or comments? Yes. You have a microphone. Yeah. Your colleague was eagerly asking to you.
Thank you very much for the opportunities.
Yeah.
First of all, do you think the digital integration for the global tourism will happen with the same pace if COVID-19 didn't happen?
I don't think it's the same space, same speed, but certainly it was evolving, but the COVID made it maybe a catalyst to make it happen much faster. And also to find new ways for museums and for the travel industry to have diverse incomes. You know, I think like the online, before COVID, very few museums have online shops, but now it's almost like a must-do for museums to start to promote their cultural artifacts online and sell digitally. So I think it's a push factor or catalyst factor for digitalization and AI-enabled experience of virtual realities to make it faster, certainly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to ask you about the role of officials in government in reviving tourism after the COVID. Or, for example, in Indonesia, to revive tourism in Indonesia, in Bali, particularly, Minister of Tourism, he moved to Bali to open office there. So he worked in Bali,
yeah.
And also President Jokowi, for example, he opened marina in Tambol Bajo. So, how do you think the extent of the role of Indonesian, for example, the role of all leaders or officials in many countries regarding to revive tourism in their own countries? Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a really good point. And I was actually in Bali for the B20 summit as part of the Indonesian G20 presidency. And you can see government plays a very important role. I think to put in Bali was also to bring the travel industry confidence back to Indonesia and to Bali, because Bali is safe and Bali is in Indonesia is for these global business leaders. So certainly that's for China or some other parts the same. We see a lot more place marketing, and where government, municipal officials putting emphasis on promoting their cities globally. I recently joined a promotion of a small city in China where they focus on bamboo industry, because the city has a bamboo cultivation, growing, so they are using bamboo as a way of branding and the city marketing tool. So government officials really are important for especially cities which are less known internationally, where you need to have very direct marketing about the cities using different forms. And you see a lot more also online campaigning. So social media is becoming really important, and you have a lot of government, for instance, introducing what they call the digital nomad. I don't know, in Indonesian government, you have this policy now, certainly in Thailand, in Taiwan, and I know that our Chinese government is also introducing visa policies or special visa consideration for digital nomads. So digital nomads are people working remotely because they can freelance, they don't need to be based in the city, they can move anywhere, maybe 3 months. You know, if I'm in Australia, it's too cold, I move to Bali. But when Bali is too hot, I move back to Australia because it's winter time. So you move around the world for the best weather, cheapest, I mean not cheap, not often cheaper, but best working conditions, for food, for whatever reason, you know? So before, you can't go there just without a job or anything, but now, since digital innovation, you can work anywhere. So this digital nomads is becoming really important. So how you attract them to your country, to your city, how you use them to promote your cities and countries, it's really important for the government officials to decide the policies. Thank you. All right, you probably have enough of me. Ah, there's one more, okay.
Thank you. First, can I ask you something?
I try to answer.
Before I ask you the real question.
Okay, that sounds scary, but yeah.
What do you think about Jakarta before you come here?
Before, you know, that's a really good question. Before I only came to Bali, you know,
right.
So Jakarta is always a bit mystic, you know. I heard about Jakarta being very big. Probably like, I have never been to Lagos, but probably similar like Lagos, or, you know, this big city, but very traffic congested. That's what I heard. But what I like, what I've been here, what I find Jakarta is really a city of energy. That's what I like about some Asian cities. I like Ho Chi Minh City a lot, and I like Jakarta a lot, because you see energies. And you see people busy, but people all have energy. And that's really important. And then you feel positive vibes in these kind of cities.
Yeah, from your presentation, you talk about city branding. Like, why do people always talk about Bali but rarely talk about Jakarta? It's always in my head, like, why Jakarta cannot be the same image like Tokyo or Macau or Bangkok or Istanbul. They also traffic, they also rush, they also like busy city, but people will consider go to that place more than Jakarta. You know what I'm talking about, right? When we talk about Indonesia, they always want to come to like nature places like Bali, Labuan Bajo, and any else's. But what do you think? We should like reach more or talk more to tourists about Jakarta, because like you said before, once you come to Jakarta, you felt the energy, you felt like the traffic is not really a big problem here. You can also
depending on the times.
yeah. Like in cultural, in our Gen Z, we still running like while the cars like on the traffic, you know. I mean, the energy is there, but why people rarely talk about Jakarta?
I think because Jakarta, for me, doesn't have something stand out. You need a wow factor. Because you can't compete the nightlife or the smart city high-rises with Dubai. You can't compete the nightlife with Bangkok. You can't compete the organizedness with Singapore. You just have too much competition in the region. That's the first. Secondly, you need probably a major, I would say, landmark event to make the city known. And the best example in Europe is Barcelona. Because Barcelona, before the Olympic Games, it's not that known in the world. You know, it's a beautiful city, but people think about Madrid. People think about Valencia. People think, you know, about Malaga, you know, in the south because of the beach, because of whatever. But Barcelona, you know, it's nice, but it's not. So the government used Barcelona as a big cultural gentrification. So they made Barcelona really famous. And another city is Bilbao in Spain. It's also a less known city, but they had a very famous museum, Guggenheim. So Guggenheim opened a museum there. And then a lot of people went there because of the museum, which is unique in the world. So you need something, what Jakarta has, which other cities do not have in East Asia or South Asia. You need something. Maybe a very famous museum. That's what a lot of Middle Eastern cities are doing. I went to the new Louvre Museum in Abu Dhabi. Wow, it's amazing. You know, they are bringing all the most expensive architecture, Zaha Hadid, you know, what do you call it, the French one, I forgot his name now. All of these big names there to put landmark architecture. So if you have the tallest building, maybe you will have a lot more recognition. Maybe you have a world famous museum. Maybe, you know, you will have some, people think about Jakarta of something. At the moment, you don't have anything which Bangkok, Ho Chi Minh, Singapore, or Bali doesn't have. But certainly I agree with you. I think about, you know, Jakarta, you know, I think it's a great city, but it's nothing really stand out. I mean, Manila has similar issue in a way, you know, and some other capitals, but yeah. I think Jakarta deserves more international recognition. So, I mean, to me, it's too generic, maybe. Maybe I think you need a special differentiation factor. What do you think it will be? I mean, your colleague talk about business, money is one thing. What else? Jakarta, can you dig?
Yeah, I think it's about innovation, right? Because I went to Tokyo last month, and I went to Shibuya Sky. It's only like high building, and we can see like the city from above. I think Jakarta can do the same. But I'd rather not.
But you need something really standing out.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Because if you go to KL, you have a lot of high rises. You have the KLCC, you know, you have all these Petronas, you know. So it's not just being the tallest, you need something special. There's not even a landmark in Jakarta. What's the landmark?
Yeah, we have Monas here.
Monas. By the way, this is on my to-do list. I've been here so many times, I didn't have a chance to visit Monas yet.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good question.
Okay. I think we have to finish here because the time is already. Or
yeah.
Are we?
No, I'm. Okay, that's bye.
This is a sign of goodbye. Okay, let's give an applause